Everybody, so today we're going to be taking a look at the Slatra RDA by Mechlyfe and Ambitionz VapeR. This is a 25mm dual mesh coil RDA. It is a little bit finicky, but we're going to go ahead and build on it down below, and then we'll come back up. We'll talk about it, pros and cons, and yeah, let's go. Okay, so here we are with the Slatra RDA by Mechlyfe and Ambitionz VapeR. This is the box that it comes in. On this side it says Squonkable, dual mesh coil, clamp style deck, less finicky to wick, Ambitionz VapeR. On the back it's going to give you what's included in the contents, your warnings, and designed by. And then on the other side, you're going to have the honeycomb step down airflow, 25mm diameter, 30mm height, 810 drip tip. And that's how it comes. Of course, you've got your scratch off authenticity right there. And you open up the box. Inside, you're going to get your user manual. That's going to be the first thing that you get. And it's going to tell you how to build on it and then how to cut your wicks. So that's included. Then you're going to get your RDA. It does automatically come with the squonk pin installed. We're going to go over that in a second. I'm going to go ahead and get this goodie bag out real quick. The goodie bag out, and then inside this bag, you're actually going to get the tool that you need to round your mesh. You're going to get two little pouches or little Ziplocs. And these are going to have your coils. This one's actually the Kanthal A1. It's a 0.26 each coil. So with dual coil, it would be a 0.13 resistance. And then this one here is actually the Nichrome 80. I'm trying to open it without smushing the coils. Let's try to open it. I don't want to smush the coils. This one's not as open as the other one is. There we go. All right, so this one's packaged just a little bit differently. I just don't want to smush the coils that come with it. Okay. Almost there. All right. And this one's actually got the, yeah, they came smushed. It was too pressed, but yeah, I can round them out. That's not a problem. But yeah, so these are actually the Nichrome 80.22, which will ohm out to a 0.11 once you have them installed as a pair. You're also going to get some O-rings. You're going to get some extra screws. You're going to get your Barbie screwdriver, your Allen key as well. And the Allen key is for your 510 pin if you want to swap it out. And then, of course, you've got your extra. Okay, so this one did not come with a 510 pin. Okay, so there's no 510 pin in this one. I do have a second one, and it did come with the 510 pin. So this bag did not, but it does come with one. So maybe this is just a sample version. So what I'm going to be using is I'm actually going to be using the Kanthal. That's my preferred. I actually like it. Now you can purchase the coils separately. They will be on the Mechlyfe website, and you can actually purchase them in the Kanthal, or you can purchase them in the Nichrome 80. And yeah, so that's what you can do. Now using this tool, you can also use this tool to actually round out your own coils. This is one that I actually did myself. And what you're going to do is when you round it out on your tool, you're going to make sure that you actually bend the leads. So see how I did here? I actually rounded it, and then I just took a pair of tweezers like this, and then you just want to go ahead and just bend it a little bit this way and bend it a little bit this way, and you can actually get your own coils. So I'm not really worried about that. Okay, so we're actually going to use the ones that come in the box. So I'm just going to take those out, and these are already pre-rounded for you. And if you notice, they're exactly like I just said. They're already, the ends are already been pre-bent for you. You see? So you can actually do it yourself, or you can use the ones that come with it. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over the RDA. Again, this is a 25mm RDA. On the bottom, it does say Slatra RDA. It's got your serial number, and then again, the squonk pin is already installed. You do have this nice 810 drip tip that is pre-installed, and this is goon style, so you do have the O-ring on the inside, and that's what that looks like. And then you've got this honeycomb type of airflow. Now, if you know me at all, you know that I love honeycomb airflow. And with the tension of the O-rings that actually come pre-installed, it's really, really nice and easy to maneuver the airflow. I absolutely love it. You can actually close it row by row. So there's one row closed. And then you can go ahead and do it more. So that'll close it down little by little. And then this part comes off like this, and you can actually see the step down as it comes. So you've got none, one, all, none, one, all. Whatever you do to one side will happen to the other. And it does have the conical design on the inside, and then that's your deck. Let's go ahead and take that apart. Now, when you first get this, I will warn you, these bottom O-rings are very, very, very stiff. So you want to be careful with that because they're really, really hard. There you go. So here is the actual chimney. Again, you do have the honeycomb airflow. Really, really nice and thick. If you notice on the bottom, it's actually a lot thicker than it is on the top. And right here, you're actually going to be able to see some grooves. This right here is actually going to lock into this piece right here of your build deck. So it's not just a notch, it's actually a slot or a slant or a slat, whatever you want to call it, or a trail or whatever. Now again, I'm just going to put my airflow over there. This is the build deck. Now the build deck is very weird. It does have, for squonking, your liquid's actually going to come out from the top, and then it's going to come out onto your coils. These are actually your wicking channels right there, and then your coil is going to sit here and sit here. Now the top is actually going to share one screw. So you're going to actually put your lead in here, and then this is going to clamp down on both. And then you're going to have your side ones. On this side, it does say Ambitionz VapeR. On this side, it does say Mechlyfe, just to let you know. And yeah, so let's go ahead and start building on this. So what I'm going to do is actually just go ahead and loosen all these up. And I won't lie, it's not the easiest thing to build on, but it can be done. Now, when you're unscrewing this, be really, really careful. If you unscrew it more than like 3 turns, the whole screw does come out, and then you're going to have to put it back in with the plate and everything. So be really, really careful on that. See, it's out, just leave it like that. And then on the top, you can either do it with your finger or you can do it with a screwdriver. Either way. And then what that'll do is it's actually going to open up this block right here. See, it'll lift that up. Now it's got a little slant in here, so when your coil leg is going in or your mesh leg is going in, it's supposed to open up and make it easier. So just wanted to show you that. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to put this in. And be very, very careful because this is mesh, so it is bending a lot, really, really easy. So you got bottom like this, and then the top goes there. There we go. All right, so that's in. Let's go ahead and screw down the bottom because I don't want it to move from the bottom, but I'm going to make sure it's straight. Right there. Okay, right in the middle. And I'm barely going to hold it in, barely, because I do not want to bend my mesh. If you bend it, then you got to reshape it, which is not a big deal, but it does cause a little bit of a hassle when you have to reshape it. And then we're going to go ahead and do the other side. Again, do the bottom first, and the upper one, we'll go ahead and lay in like that. And there we go. We've got them both in. Let's go ahead and screw that one down. I'm going to make sure that it's centered right here. Oops. There we go. Got it in there. Center that one. And then just hold it very gently while I screw it in, making sure that it's just in. Okay, this one did pop out when I screwed it in. Okay, and now we're gonna just do the top. Okay. I'm not tightening it all the way. I wanna make sure that it's fully in. This one did pop out a little bit from the bottom. Now they should both be in. There we go. Fully in. I'm going to tighten them down because now I know that they're in. They're centered. Looking very, very nice. Now, for instance, if you did press on it and you need to reshape it, what you want to do is actually get the tool that they provided, which is this one here. And you're actually just going to put it inside the middle and just round it off. And that'll make sure that it's all nice and rounded. Now, mine are actually in there pretty good. They're sitting nice. This one actually looks a little bit taller than that one. I'm just going to raise that one up just a little bit. There we go. All done. So let's go ahead and start heating them up. Now I'm going to heat them because it's mesh. You definitely want to heat it at a very low temperature. So I'm just going to go ahead and bring this down to about 24 watts. There we go. This side is actually heating up a little bit. I'm just going to make sure that these are nice and tight because it's mesh. It's not like you can really do too much with it. Go, and we'll fire them again. Much better. Okay, just a little. There we go. Center, from the center out. So now to wick it up. What I'm going to be using is I'm actually going to be using my Kendo vape cotton. You can use any type of cotton that you want. I'm actually going to be using my Kendo. And I'm going to be getting generous amounts. And we're going to do that. So cut off a piece there. So I just went ahead and cut off a piece. I'm going to actually cut this in half. Or break it in half. And I'm leaving it kind of thick, because being that it is mesh, it needs to have a lot of cotton within the coils so that your cotton won't collapse. Just gonna go ahead and just do that. And then make sure you're in camera and focus. I'm just gonna put this through. What you can do is actually grab the other end as you're grabbing the first end, and that way it'll be nice and snug. Redo it. There we go. Okay, there we go. See? All right, so now what I'm gonna do is just, I know that they're saying to cut it at an angle. I've been trying different methods, and this method works the best for me. I'm just gonna fluff out the ends a little bit. I'm not gonna be cutting it at an angle. I don't feel like it really needs it, to be honest with you. Depending on the type of cotton that you use. If you use a really, really thick cotton, then you would. But no, for me, just like that. And just like that. Just gonna get my tweezers. Plop that right there. That sits really nice. There we go. And do the other side. I'm just putting it in the build deck. Because I wanted to have a lot of cotton, but not too much. So it's in there. And this cotton is not one of those like thick cottons that it's hard to absorb. It's a very absorbent cotton, so I'm not going to have any problems with it wicking. Just bring that over. Wispies, flyaways, you know me. I don't like them. Go, put that in there. All right. So what I'm going to do is actually show you the squonking method, but let me put this on first. Let me just put this on. So you want to make sure that you're getting it in the groove. There we go. Put it down. Taking this off. There we go. All right. So we've got that in. What I'm going to do is actually just bring my cotton away from my airflow like that. But you see, everything fits really, really nice. Just taking it away from the airflow, and now I'm going to squonk. So ready? There we go. Squonk this way too. There we go. Squonk this way. There we go. I want to get all of it wet. And I'm just going to lightly pulse it. Now, if you notice, one thing I did forget to tell you is that this RDA does not have a juice return, meaning that whatever juice is in your RDA is going to stay in the RDA until it vapes up. You will not be able to actually have it pull back into the bottle. You won't hear that suction noise that you're used to. So I do want to warn you about that. You don't want to overfill. Please don't overfill, because if you overfill, that's what's going to happen. So what I'm doing is just making space, and it's getting saturated like that. You see, I've still got juice right in there. Okay. And what I'm going to do is just top it off, because this is the first time that I'm actually using this cotton, just to make sure that I'm getting the cotton within the coil saturated too. There we go. And it is at a low wattage, so there we go. Get some right there. I'll go ahead and turn this up. Let's check it out. VapeR. Okay, so now it's actually starting to work. So that's pretty much it for the build. You can do regular coils. I have done regular coils. I might do a separate tutorial for the regular coils at a later time, but I did want to show you this in the way that it's supposed to be, which is as a dual mesh coil RDA. That's what it was made to be, and that's how I'm going to show you how to build on it. And then depending on if there's requests for it, I'll do a regular coil build. So let's go ahead and take it on top and take a look at the Slatra RDA from Mechlyfe and Ambitionz VapeR. Okay, so here we are back on top with the Slatra RDA. And I'm going to go ahead and vape, and then we'll talk more about it. Very, very warm vape. Okay, so we're gonna go over the pros and then we'll go over the cons. For me, the pro, I love the size, 25 millimeter. It's actually a perfect size. I really, really like that. Another thing that I like is that it's got the step down airflow, so you can go ahead and adjust that. So that is definitely a plus for me. And then it's got the locking channels, not really like a notch, but a channel. It locks into place really well. The airflow, love honeycomb airflow, so that to me is definitely a pro. I absolutely love, love, love honeycomb airflow. Comes with an 810 drip tip, so you can use any of your 810 drip tips that you choose, and I think that that's great. The flavor on this is really, really good. I know exactly what this juice tastes like. It's mine. So I really, really like that. I think that it was innovative. The build deck is very innovative in the sense of the way that you actually apply the mesh coils or put them in. So I think that it's very innovative that way. I like how it squonks from the top, so it's actually dripping onto your coils rather than working on the capillary action or relying on the capillary action. So I really like that. I like, it's not too hard to build on, but it isn't that easy either. For those of you that are new to building, I definitely wouldn't recommend something like this because mesh are very, very finicky and very, very thin. I definitely wouldn't want to recommend something like this for a new beginner builder. Maybe starting with something different and then going to this one, possibly. If you're going to build regular coils in this, which you can do, it can be a little bit difficult, but a lot easier than the mesh. Because the fact that the regular coils are not finicky like mesh is, it makes it a little bit easier, but then again, you know, the way that the legs are placed, you have to make sure that they're placed right, and you have to make sure that the legs are short enough because it does take short legs in order to build on this. The deck is really nice. I feel like the cotton fits in there really well. You have enough room. You can cut them the way he said, or because my cotton is so thinned out in the bottom, I really didn't have to cut it the way that they suggest in the manual and that Ambitionz did it. I would suggest doing it at an angle just to begin, and then you can always start doing them like I do them. Either way, it's still gonna work. Just make sure that you don't have too much cotton at the bottoms. When you put on, going into my cons, I mean, I got flavor, innovation, can do mesh or regular coil. So those are my pros, and the 810 drip tip. The deck, when you put on the deck, no matter if you cut it at an angle or you cut it like I did, your top cap does touch your cotton. So when you take off that top cap, for whatever reason, it's gonna literally like mess up your cotton. It's gonna unfluff it or bring it up. So I do wanna warn you on that. Whenever you're doing that, that will happen. It doesn't get caught when you go and you clamp it down, but when you do take off the top cap, you're gonna notice it. The building of it, again, could be finicky. It went in pretty easy for me, but it can get finicky. What I don't like is the fact that, you know, it's got that shared clamp. Shared clamp on this, especially with coils this finicky, I wouldn't suggest shared clamp because you got to literally put them both in, hold them both together, and then screw it down so that they're not slipping out and you don't have one in, one out. I'm not a fan of it, but it's nothing about this. It's nothing about the way that it's just my preference. I personally don't like shared clamps. The bottom screws definitely need a little bit more threading because if you just undo it like 3 times, the whole plate comes off. I think that's definitely a huge con for me because that can make it more difficult. Other than those, if those had a little bit more threading, I think it would make it a little bit easier to build on, to be honest with you. The flavor, again, is really, really good. It's just that I really don't like how that sits in there. You know, I just don't like how the shared post is, and you have to get the bottom and then the top, and you're using mesh. Mesh is like the most thinnest of coils to use, so I think that it should have been just a little bit easier. For those of you that like mesh coils and you've been wanting a hotter vape, I definitely suggest something like this. This one you can definitely ramp it up and you can go at a higher wattage and get that warm vape that you were looking for that you didn't necessarily get from the previous one that was out there for the single coil. You can use a thick amount of cotton, you can use a cotton square, you can use those cotton threads, you can use pretty much anything. If you use the cotton threads, I suggest using 2 when you're putting them in there, no matter what brand it is, whether it be the Vape Fly or whether it be the cotton threads. Either way, when you're using those with the shoestring laces on them, use 2, and that's going to give perfect thickness for the coils. Other than that, no juice return. When you're squonking, you won't hear, you know, like a juice return. It won't pull the juice back in. So that can definitely, and you can't over squonk. So you want to be careful because it will come out of your airflow if you over squonk like I just did, because there's no There's nowhere for the juice to go, so it's going to come out of the airflow because there's no juice return on the bottom. So you want to be careful with that, especially on the top side. On the top side, please, please, please be careful with that, because if you get juice under here, it can mess up your board. So you want to be really, really careful with that. That happened to me like twice on this. Well, now 3 times. Yes, because I'm trying to show you. But so it doesn't have the juice return. It doesn't come with an extra drip tip. Most of these RDAs out here that are coming out, they all come with 2 drip tips. This one only came with 1. It brought coils, but it didn't bring cotton. So that to me is another con. A huge con for me, and I'm sorry, I don't mean anything by it, it's the packaging of the coils. Putting them in this little Ziploc, I don't agree with. Having it, you know, curled up like that, it literally smushed 2 of my coils. Like, these 2 coils are smushed. They came smushed. They are smushed. I can't, you know, I'm going to have to round them off. It's not going to break them or anything, but I think that it should have been put in a box or on its own or some other way where you're not going to be able to smush them. I don't like the packaging for the coils. I really don't. I feel like on such an RDA, it's got such potential. It's so innovative and everything. And then you come with a Ziploc. It kind of, nah. I'm not sure if I got a sample package, but mine did not come with a 510 in this one. It does have a 510 in the other one that I've been using, but in this one, it did not come with it. So a standard 510 was not included. So that to me would have to be a con. It was probably just a packaging error. And again, this might be a sample. So don't, you know, worry about it. Just check your package. But other than that, I think that it vapes really, really beautifully. It gives us very, very smooth airflow because of the honeycomb airflow. It's very, very smooth. You can bump it up, you can bump it down, any way you want it. I still have juice on my board, or on my thing. You can, and you're gonna be fine. So that to me is definitely a pro, because now I can get a hotter vape. That's at 93 watts. Usually with my other RDA that I usually rock on here, I don't take it more than like 60, 65. So being able to ramp up the wattage, I think is really good. I have tried both coils out, the nichrome and the canthal. I prefer the canthal in my opinion. It's just the way that I like to vape. Some others might like the nichrome better, but I really like the canthal, the nichrome 80, I'm sorry. But I like the canthal. That one to me is just, it works to me the best. I don't know. I just like the canthal better. That's just my opinion. But that's pretty much it for my review. If you're looking to get something that's a dual mesh, this would definitely be it, because there's nothing else out there really. So this would be great to try it on. Just be careful that if your coils are not perfectly rounded, use that tool that it comes with and just round them out again. They should fit within the mesh coil with no problem. Just go ahead and just tweak it, and you can fix them. You want to make sure that the coils are fixed. Just like any other mesh coil RDA, you definitely need to make sure that your mesh is not bent, kinked, ripped, scratched, anything like that, because that will cause a problem, and it'll probably make it short, and it's going to give you a dry hit. So be careful with that. Other than that, I think that it's an amazing RDA in for what it is. I'm getting amazing flavor. I like it with the dual coils as well, so you can use regular coils. If you want me to do a tutorial with the regular coils, let me know in the comments below, and I'll go ahead and do that for you. But yeah, so that's my review for the Slatra RDA. So I will see you in the next one.